Hi, what's going on guys? So today, just before I start this video, I wanted to say that I haven't got anything against people using steroids. This video is particularly made to just say, how to spot a fake natural. I used to be a bit like, people using steroids annoy me, and this before would be because of the fake natties, basically people, telling that they're natural when they're not, and like selling their advice, even though a lot of them sometimes get good results because they've got the right genetics to the drugs and they actually don't really know how to train. So this video isn't particularly made to negatively against people using steroids, because a lot of them in the industry do work hard. So it's more directed to the fake naturals. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Hi guys, what's going on? Today we're gonna talk about fake natties, how to spot the fake natural. And so some people might say, who cares about this? And most of the people who say that usually are the fake natties themselves. But since, sometimes fake natties give very bad advice to natural bodybuilders, I think it's good to say how to spot them so you don't fall for their advice. So people might want to say folks do whatever they want to do with their bodies. But I think where people are annoyed is when they see people lying to their audience about whether they're natural or not, when obviously they're not natural, and then that they give bad advice to the majority of natural bodybuilders. If you go on Instagram these days and you type hashtag natural bodybuilding, you have just 9 people out of 10 that are on steroids, so it's not super fair. So today we're seeing how to spot the fake natty. So if you didn't know what's a fake natural, what's a fake natty, well, this is someone who basically claims to be natural but actually uses steroids in the fitness industry. And so the fake natty is not just someone who takes steroids and claims to be natural. It's a whole trend. It's the whole trend of people who are gonna start using barbells instead of dumbbells, for example, for lateral raises. It's all these trend exercises who don't make any sense. And are just invented, to repackage, to just show some cool stuff. And then you see people in the gym doing this cool stuff because it's different, but it actually doesn't bring results because the results are coming from the basics. It's just the basics, and you have to work hard on the basics to make gains. But the fake natty trend, because they take steroids and they get great results from it, they don't really have to train very well. Some people just have good genetics and they really answer well to the steroids, and so they can do whatever stupid exercise they want, and then they can show it to their friends, but it's not going to work for the friends if they're naturals. And so we're not just talking about friends here, we're talking about audiences of hundreds of thousands of people on Instagram. The fake natties, they have massive audiences, some of them, and they show stupid exercises, and so this has to stop basically. But it's not just gonna stop like this, but at least if I can make a video on my channel about this, it's not a waste. Number one is that they're looking as good as the best natural bodybuilders out there, but their physique is a bit different. So for example, their shoulders is all their shape is 3D. So yeah, the fake natural is basically very similar to the natural bodybuilder who's been training for 15 years. It's kind of the same size, and that's why it's hard to say if the person's natural or not. But what can help is just that their shape, their overall shape, is like a 3D shape. Their shoulders is really 3D, and the traps also very 3D. Everything looks quite unnatural, and it might be hard maybe to spot on the pictures, but when you actually meet these people in real life, when they get closer to you, for example with a tank top, you can really see it's all full. It's very full. It looks like their muscle is about to explode, and they're not actually even that huge, because when they put on their t-shirt and their sessions, their gym session is finished, it's like they look pretty normal. But as you get closer, it's like this unreal look of just about to explode. Like it just looks unnatural. It's not big, super big, but it just looks like it looks bigger because this 3D shape make it really unreal. Second is that they do the bro training stuff. They just kind of start their session with some cable flies, and they do cables all the way up to the end of the workout. There is no real programmation. They're not really scaling things up, and it's all about the pump, old school pump bro training. And so they won't really go next to the super strong whatever 18 years old student who is actually doing much more than them naturally. Like they cannot avoid these environments and positions to be in, and they pretty much spend it on the pump exercise on the cables. So the third is that usually they will obviously look massive in all androgen receptors, muscles, so like the traps, the shoulders, the back, and they will usually lack arms. So the ones who are genetically gifted for arms and the one who will train arms will obviously maybe have better arms, but the majority of people that I notice on steroids, they have this massive pumped up look in these areas, but their arms are usually lacking because they actually don't put in the work. And most of the people who are fake naturals, they actually don't really put the work in. They want kind of like the shortcuts. And so arm training is actually a whole thing that you have to do if you want big arms. So spending an hour and a half, 2 hours on arms, I'm not sure this is something that they want to do. And what I've noticed on fake naturals is that usually they've got this big frame of massive shoulders, great back, but they're usually lacking arms. They just spend like 15-20 minutes on their arms, and so that's another factor that you can look for. These big muscles pumped up and their arms pretty lacking. Fourth is gynecomastia. Some of them will just have gynecomastia and have swollen tits, and so it's not because you're on gear that you have to have gynecomastia, but this is a good sign. And if you associate it to other factors, like I just explained, that's just another sign that could tell you that this person is not natural. The fifth is the bad skin and redness. So sorry for the words, but some people talk about thick skin, and so their skin is just doesn't look healthy. It's quite red. There is acne as well that can come up, and you can just tell. Well, a lot of fake naturals, if it's not testosterone that they take, they'll take, for example, trenbolone, and you can tell that just their whole body kind of changes to like a more, red and angry look. It's just the way it is. So, look for how they look in terms of skin. Does it look a bit rough, a bit red? Then that's another factor which could tell you that they're not natural. Number 6, and this is a bit of a joke, they are wearing Gymshark or Vanquish clothes. So that's just, a lot of people obviously are wearing this, and that's more of a joke, from as well Greg Doucette. But this is really something that I noticed. If the person is famous and you don't know if they're natural or not, I don't know why there is a massive trend into that. Gymshark athletes are just a lot on gear. So if you have a doubt, then there's a chance that if he's sponsoring one of these brands, then he is on something. All right, back to something more serious. This is number 7, and this is a rapid muscle growth. So that's just quite logical. If you see the person, plateauing and not really, increasing their performances, and all of a sudden they come with massive shoulders and they start, benching much more than they were doing before, or squatting, deadlifting, then there is a high chance that they just jumped on something. Number 8, a bit of a joke again, and this is they're selling keto diet plans and intermittent fasting plans. So why do I say that? Not because I hate on the diet, even though the keto diet is not something I would recommend to anyone unless you're just about 3 days out to compete, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend it. And so the fake natties will sometimes try to sell you something which sounds quite cool, quite something they're like repackaging a lot of stuff, and because you can't really sell the truth, you can't really say, well, you're gonna have to just stick to the basics and work hard basically. A lot of things that I've seen around fake natties who are lying basically to their audience is that they will also try to sell things that sound cool, and so unfortunately a lot of trends, just like the vegan trend, and I think being vegan is fine. I think it's a good cause to defend if you want to be part of it, but it also kind of like sounds better, and a lot of people will take steroids and actually make their gains of like their steroids, and then say, well, obviously the vegan diet is working well. Well, not really. Tell the truth to people, right? Number 9 is their eyes is about to pop out, and that might be again related to the trend balloon and this look that I talked about earlier, you know, this very angry look, and you feel that the person is really stressed, really under pressure, and this is just, you know, obviously the hormones that are messing with him. And we always often talk about the moon phase and, you know, the water retention that happens, and you actually just like start storing fat on your face, and that's one of the factors as well that can happen when you take steroids. Number 10, just another effect of the side effects of steroids, you can start balding simply. So if you see someone that is 22 years old claiming to be natural, and with all the other factors is also balding, then you can actually start to think that he's not natural. Number 11, you follow this person on Instagram and you see that person going to McDonald's almost all the time, partying, drinking, and his shape is just getting better and better every week. And this is a big sign that, you know, the person might not just drink clear water and that he's doing something else on the side. Number 12 is that the person is just lean all year round. And when I'm saying lean, I'm not just talking about, I don't know, 14%, but if that is actually, you know, like 10, 11, and as I said, you know, he goes party every weekend, then there is an issue there. You might as well question why this person is so lean all year round and, you know, never has to bulk up, for example, to actually put on some size. So that's another factor. So yeah, that was it guys today for this video. So if you see some people and you're not fully sure, then you know, you can go through all these little steps that I explained, and there's probably many more, but I just wanted to make a little video out there. Feel free to comment, to like, and subscribe, and I'll make sure to answer. And we're gonna go on to videos that are more educational for the next ones. So see you later and take care of yourself.